is supernatural events in hostels. So this is a very important topic again. Today I'll be talking about different scenarios in a hostel that takes place, and many of the clients previously have come up with this problem when it comes to the hostel issues and the supernatural issues when it comes to the hostel life. So let's get started. So see, this topic came in my mind because previously there were plenty of cases in the past few years that came to us regarding students when they complained that when they went to stay in the hostel and their actually hostel life started, typical rooms were there, few rooms were there in which something very creepy they started feeling, and even certain amount of changes in their nature and behavior started occurring staying in those rooms, or I would say one room or two rooms which were there. And this I'm talking about different cases, I'm not talking about one case here. Okay, so now first of all the question arises that does it really happen like this? Can a hostel room be haunted? Can a hostel room have some negative energy inside it? Why not? My answer is actually why not? Because see, negative energy doesn't have a rule or a regulation as to this area it will come and that area it won't come. Of course, if it's a divine place and if it's a divine energy around, of course it cuts the negative energy and it cannot enter that. But however, in any of the places when it comes to even the hostel premises, the rooms are there, certain amount of sometimes suicides take place in hostels which are hidden after that, and just because of the reputation of the hostel or the institution, and then certain amount of creepy incidences or weird or unexplained incidences start happening. Now I'll talk about one of the cases here that I think almost 10 years back we got this one case, and this was one of the cases of the hostel that there was a girl who wrote to us that, you know, my brother, from the time he's gone for the studies outside and he's been staying in a hostel, a lot of things have started changing in him, and now it's been almost 5 years that you know, his mental status is just disbalanced. He doesn't know what to talk, he doesn't know what to say, you know, he's not even aware of that what's going around him sometimes. Basically she was trying to say that, you know, mentally he's become very ill, and he has even approached a lot of psychiatrists before approaching us for that matter, and there is something which is unexplainable. So they understood, they believed that, you know, this is nothing natural, something is abnormal. And of course when the case study was done for them and the diagnosis came in front, then absolutely they were correct that that particular room that he was staying into, there was a suicide that took place in that room. Everybody in the hostel was aware of it, but like I just said a few minutes back, that for the reputational crisis they don't talk about it and they hide it. And this person, when he started staying in that room, within 3 months major changes started happening in him, and that was one of the reasons that, you know, his behavior started changing. He started losing his mind, he started behaving, he started laughing all of a sudden, and his body language started changing. All of this started happening, and he was a medical student in fact, so it started affecting his studies as well. So then the parents had to bring him back because he started hitting people, he started behaving, shouting, yelling, screaming, even abusing his friends and colleagues, not colleagues, I'm sorry, in fact the students around him, the other students around him. So this was almost a case of possession, but of course the possession did not take place. But the idea was that he used to always stand, even when he came back home, the parents wrote to us that, you know, that the person keeps on standing in front of the balcony of the house. Sometimes he just runs away from the house in the night, and they have to lock their house, the main entrance and his room as well in the night, because he starts doing weird things. He starts smiling, you know, he starts giggling, sitting all by his side, and refused sometimes the vegetarian food, and suddenly he became a very hardcore non-vegetarian. And there is nothing wrong, I'm saying, in that people who are having you know, this kind of food, of course that's a different topic, vegetarian and non-vegetarian food, but here I'm talking about that suddenly even eating the raw mutton or the raw meat in any of the senses is something which is absolutely abnormal when it comes to a person who's not even designed to do anything like this. Okay, so of course the person who had come to the suicide was around, that negative energy was around, and that was a case that it just wanted him to end his life, and it was a very severe case. And then of course the healing started, the cure started, and then he got back to normal, not just all of a sudden, but it took him around 2.5 years to get back to his normal senses. Because again, sometimes the mind also gets so much blocked as to, even after the cure takes place, the mind is not very comfortable in registering the fact that everything is over, because sometimes the damage is so huge, so huge, that it's difficult to believe for yourself as well. So, but the changes that was seen by the parents, the sister, and absolutely by the grace of the goddess, everything is fine, became fine in fact, and I'm sure he must be leading a very normal and a happy life now. So, I mean, of course, with the ups and downs of life that comes in everyone's, life once, the phase, different kinds of phases and nakshatras keep on changing. But as far as the supernatural sciences are concerned and supernatural events are concerned, that person was out of it, and of course he has the protection and everything went fine. So the point out here is that yes, you can have haunted hostels, you can have haunted premises when you go out to study, and it's not that everyone will go through the same thing in that same room. No, it's not a rule like this. Okay, it can be quite possible if someone else stays in that room, maybe that negative energy is not able to affect that person so much. Now that really depends on the kind of stars you're born with, what nakshatras, what calculations, constellations, so many calculations. Okay, so that's about it. So if you're finding any of these symptoms matching to any one of your near and dear ones, you can contact us and get the case study done, which of course is a paid service. I always say that because I do not want people to be confused that it is all free, and Guru Didi said that get the case study done, it's free. Of course no. And the different fee structures given out there on the website for the overseas customers and customers who are staying in India. Now, it does not mean that just because you're staying overseas, we are charging you more. There's a logic behind it. And what is the logic? Please go and see the video on Mahakali Vedic Shelter YouTube channel, which says that why case studies are different, or what is case study. Okay? Because this video was all about the paranormal things of the hostel room, or the supernatural, the negative energy of a hostel room. Okay, so that's about it. I'll see you next week on the topic. Till then, goodbye.